Hi, Tom from bkmnutrition.com. There are many diets on the market and many sort of coaching gurus on the market, but which one is good for you and which one should you be avoiding? Now, I've got a sort of theory that I've put into an infographic, which you can hopefully see on my right as I'm talking about this. If you're listening on the podcast, you need to go back and watch the video to see this. So this is something I call the coaching crossover concept, and it's essentially 4 stages that clients or people who want to lose weight will go through when they're working with a nutritionist or a coach. And unfortunately, some of these are not the situations you want to be in. And I'm going to run through the stages so you can see where you are, maybe what you're currently doing and why it might not be working for you. Maybe you need to think about working with another coach or getting another plan. So there are 4 stages of mastering a concept. So we're getting to this Jedi level of skill. And if you see on the bottom of the graph, you can see I've got 4 sort of pairs of letters. So you have UI, CI, CC, and UC. And this will become clear in a minute what they mean. And these are the stages of mastering a skill. Now, what you have right at the beginning when you don't know anything about the skill that you're trying to, or you don't even realize you have to master, is that you are unconsciously incompetent. So you do not know the things you need to learn in order to become competent at what you're doing. So say in the regards of weight loss or body transformations, this would be your level of knowledge being very low, and the sort of plans that are sold to you are very much a sort of the MLM schemes, fat loss teas, herb juice things. I can't say the company name in case I got sued, but you'll know the thing that your Karens in the office will sell to you. So that, oh, I lost all this weight drinking this tea, or drinking these shakes, or having this pill. These are all the things that are sold to people who are unconsciously competent. They've got no idea about how to start losing weight, no idea what needs to be done. So they're very vulnerable to being sold to by people who have got a nice sciencey sounding spiel, or have had results themselves using this product, and now they are salesmen for this. And I call this stage the anarchy stage, because there's complete disarray, no order. There's just people fighting to sell you all these things that actually don't work. And things like miracle fat loss pills, apple cider vinegar pills, all that sort of stuff, those will be in this stage because they do absolutely nothing. They don't help you lose weight at all. They just take money off you. So this is the anarchy stage, and it's referred to as the being unconsciously incompetent. You have absolutely no idea what you need to do. You don't know what you're doing, and you're very at risk of being sold to. Now, if you've done diets for a little while or tried to lose weight for a little while, you may now realize that those sorts of things don't work for you, so you don't do them. And then you move into the next stage, which is consciously incompetent. So that is the fact that you know you do need to maybe do something with calories, maybe do something with macros. You need to be able to maybe do some exercise. So you're slightly aware of the fact that you need to do something with calories in, calories out. And this is the dictator stage. So people in this stage, they know about calories, they know about potentially there are things called macros and stuff like that. And so what they tend to buy into is food elimination diets, keto vegan transformation diets, the diets by Dr. Shreds. Now, Dr. Shreds is a character from my book. He's the epitomization of all the people who sell 6-week shred programs, who have abs and biceps and all that sort of stuff. And they're like, yeah, look like me in 6 weeks. Just do my highly restrictive diet where there's 2 hours of cardio a day. You know the sort because you probably bought one of those things if you've ever tried to lose weight in the past. We've all done it. I've done it in the past, and we all regret it afterwards. But those are the plans, and they're called dictators because the guru will be shouting at you to get up at 4 a.m, do your cardio, and all the people in the in the Facebook group who he's mass sold to, there'll be some people in there who are so cultist and so aligned to him that they'll be shouting to you as well. So it's a classic dictatorship, and you're basically told what to do. There's no education. Just do this or get out. And that's when you're consciously incompetent. You know you have to do something, but you're not sure what, and so the dictator tells you what to do. So these are the 6-week shred plans. Moving forward, once you've done a few of those, then you start to realize, well, actually they're not for you. So you might start to think about working with a professional nutritionist and someone who can teach you how to do things yourself, because we don't want to be on a diet forever. We don't want to be paying someone forever to help us lose weight. We want to be educated. So we move into the democracy stage, and this is where you are consciously competent. Now, consciously competent means that you are adept at maybe working out your macros, working out your calories, maybe building your meal plans yourself, but you always have to think about it. So consciously competent means you know what you have to do and you can do it, but you always have to think about it. So you're still learning because it hasn't become a learned skill yet, which you can do without thinking. Now, this is the stage that I would say the majority of people who've done diets for any length of time will get into. They know they have to count calories, they know they have to do a certain amount of exercise, they know they have to maybe adhere to some type of macro plan which is set out by their coach. And they do this, they use MyFitnessPal or whatever to track all these things. They've got their MyZone belts and everything else to track the steps every day. They do all this and they do it consistently, but they're still thinking about it. Every day they have to think about, oh, I haven't tracked my steps today, oh, I haven't done my macros, or I haven't prepared my foods for the next day. So they've not really reached that Jedi level yet where they can do it without thinking. They've still got to do it. And this is also the most risky point, because this is the point where people know what they have to do, and if they haven't learnt the habits and learnt the skills and the systems to support them doing it, if they have an event in their life which is stressful, or they just get bored of doing it, or it's too much hassle, they then revert back into the Dr. Shred situation. So we want to get this skill and develop it further, and then and if you're working in this area with a coach, it will be a performance nutrition coach, or maybe a macro calorie based diet which is given to you on one of these maybe shred programs or whatever, and it'll be generally with a qualified or an experienced coach who is teaching you how to do all this stuff. Now, many people leave their coaches before they're actually ready, and then have to come back a couple of months later because they've not really mastered the skill. So this is where you actually want to be. Most people get to this point and then either they progress on, or they stay at this point forever because they've still got to be tracking stuff, or they then revert back because they're just tired of tracking stuff. Now, where we want to be is in the cooperative level. So this is where your personal knowledge and skill is right at the top. And this is the crossover point where you've crossed over, you're really competent about what you're doing, you're actually unconsciously competent. So that's the UC at the bottom, is you're unconsciously competent, you can do things without thinking. So when you get up in the morning, you know how much cornflakes to put into a bowl without weighing it is right for you. You know that if you have this much chicken, this much rice or whatever, that's going to be enough calories for you, and sometimes you don't have to weigh it out. You just look at it, or you put it in your hand or whatever, and you can make a best guess as to what is good for you. And also, this is where sort of intuitive eating is, where you're so good at what you're doing, you know if you're actually hungry or if it's hedonically hungry, and so you can tell the difference between cravings and actual hunger. So this is the mastery level we want to get to in order to be living a leaner lifestyle for the long term and keeping a leaner body for the long term. Now, without a bit of a boast or whatever, I'm at this level because I don't weigh out any of my foods really. I don't really measure my snacks or anything else. I just know what's right for me, and I exercise to a certain level, and I know what I'm doing is right. I look in the mirror, and if it's a little bit, if I'm gaining a little bit of body fat, I rein it back in, but I hardly ever weigh anything out because I've done this for 10 years. I'm unconsciously competent at what I'm doing, and this is what I train clients to get to, is the fact they don't have to weigh things out, they don't have to track everything. They're just doing things because they've done it for so long that it becomes a learned skill, a Jedi level of mastery. And this is the intuitive eating, flexible eating, and actually the coach then becomes the mentor rather than someone who's guiding. So what happens typically if I'm working with clients at these levels, sometimes a performance client who say maybe looking to gain more muscle or whatever, or to go for a competition, then we would discuss everything and they would have an informed input into that discussion about what is right for them. And I'm more like a mentor, like a guide, rather than someone who's saying, no, we need to do this because of this. They will have that knowledge, they will have the experience necessary and have the skill necessary, all they need is just someone to sort of guide them along the path to make sure they're doing things right. So this is the last stage you get to, being unconsciously competent. Sadly, not many people do get to this level because they don't do the third stage enough. They don't learn the skills enough. They get to that point, lose a little bit of weight, and they go, oh fine, I don't have to track anything anymore, I don't have to do anything anymore, thank God, and end up reverting back because they haven't learned the skill yet. So if you can see yourself on any of these levels, you potentially know how to move yourself forward. But also, if you are at that point where you're consciously competent and you can't ever seem to move that pin, maybe you need to be doing things a little bit better, developing more habits and systems so they do become automatic. And certainly, if you've got a question about that, please drop it in the comments. Happy to help with that. So that's just a bit of theory here. Nothing really I don't think you can really apply that to any diets or anything you're doing. There's no mention of calories or macros or anything like that in this video, but it's just a bit of extra knowledge, so maybe you can get an idea about where you are, or maybe the type of coach that you want to be enlisting to help you in order to get where you want to be. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you got some bit of insights there, and maybe an insight into how I perceive my coaching and the way I work with clients. And if you like this video, please like, share, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.